Hello. Hello my stars and welcome to a new video. My name is Sander, Pale, Palecatlover. Call me whatever you please, as long as it's not rude. Today we are creating characters from my book Not a Hickey in Gacha, since that's what you stars wanted. But before we start, let's start with some main warnings. This video will bring up abuse, but it isn't that harsh. But if you're sensitive to that, click off. I also promise this is not a book that sexualizes abuse at all. It's actually against it. So don't worry about that. The book is also unfinished, so it won't be this giant explanation. But let's start, shall we? I'll begin with telling you the plot of the book. By the title, you might think it will be something more sexual, but it really isn't. It's a forbidden romance book, per se. Let me just tell you the story and you will understand. So the story about our main character, Cameon Candace. Cameon is in his early 20s and lives in a made-up city called Hinderhund with his husband, Vinder Candace. Vinder is abusive, toxic, controlling, and ignorant towards Cameon. And as much as Cameon hates Vinder, there's not a lot he can do about the relationship. You see, Cameon was kicked out of his parents' house when he was 16 and got tricked by Vinder, who offered him a place to live in till he was able to move out. Well, it was a lie, and Vinder ended up graping him and then threatening and gaslighting him into a point where Cameon feels and pretty much is stuck in this horrible relationship. Well, one day, he's at a party, since Vinder loves hosting parties. On the party, Cameon meets a famous drag queen named Milo that he easily gets along with. They talk, discuss about fun stuff, and all of that. The next day after the party has happened, Cameon notices something on his neck. Unsure what it is, he gets worried. He first believes it might be a hickey where the title comes from, then maybe a cancer or something else. So he searches up and finds out it's a love mark, or to say a gapy mark. I'll give you a copy and paste explanation of what that is. An agape mark, also known as a love mark, is a mark that shows up when you have met someone your body feels you have a special connection with. The mark shows up in the place the person touched you first in. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory already just by the name anyways. So, the main plot of this story is Cameon trying to hide this mark from Vinder and trying to find a way to be together with his now new soulmate, who I think is very obviously Milo. I don't think I have much else to say, but I hope this is a good explanation to what the story about. So let's get into the character making. Let's start with talking about the main character, Cameon Candace. In the book he's described being in his early 20s, having chocolate brown hair in a wolf cut, which I struggled to make and failed in to make the end anyways. He has dark brown eyes that almost look black. His skin is in a tan color and has small freckles along his cheeks. And he's 5 feet 4 feet tall. The outfit I chose for him was one that Vinder chose. It's described as being a dark denim blue sleeveless shirt with a button-up black shirt over that is off shoulders. Then he's described as having fancy pants. I gave him yoga pants instead because I didn't know what I meant by that. Lastly, it was not described, but I gave him some comfy socks. I should have probably described looks last, but who really cares? Well, let's get into how he is as a person. Cameon is a tired, introverted nerd, if you want to describe it as simply as that, but let me be more detailed. Cameon is often exhausted due to all the abuse he's gone through, and pretty much prefers to be alone and not talk much, cause he always fear he'll say something wrong. He prefers sitting alone and writing about science and different animals. Cameon does pretty much take notes of anything, cause he doesn't have anything else to do. As a child, he dreamt of becoming a science teacher and teaching kids how fun science can be. Which, Cameon, don't become a teacher. They are underpaid and have to deal with never-ending 3-year-olds all the time. Cameon surprisingly is depressed. often questioning his life and wondering if he'll ever be able to do what he wants. He often tends to daydream about the past or future, in a world where he did actually do what he wanted to, the world he misses. At the moment, Cameon has a goal. I discussed it earlier. His main goal, as said, is to find the person he shares this agape mark with. He believes himself it's Milo, and in the chapter he met them, he manages to get their number. So, in the current chapters, he's gonna try to convince Winda to let him hang over with Milo somehow. Cameon is also definitely going to get a lot of character development during this story. But I don't think I have much else to say. Gladly tell me in the comments what you think about him. Be honest. Now we are gonna do the antagonist / husband of Cameon, Winder Candace. Like before, I guess I'll start with how they are described within their looks. Winder is described as having long lustrous orange hair that is put up in a bun. In the sequence Cameon sees him and describes his hair. He's described as having garnet-colored eyes, which I guess I meant by dark pink. Winder is also described as being tall, 6'68" feet. Winder also has tiny fangs. The outfit I put him in was the only interesting and well-described outfit he was put in. A dark gray waistcoat, black belt, black jacket, which I totally forgot, baggy jeans, and a pair of boots. The boots aren't very visible though due to the baggy jeans, haha. That's all I have to say about his looks. Now for how Winder is as a person. Let's just say this pretty clearly together. He's a horrible abusive person, clear. Good. Winder is abusive a lot towards Cameon, in literally all ways possible, like Cameon never gets a break from him. Winder is so bad as a person that Cameon says he's like an angler fish. Like, if that isn't bad, then I don't know what is. Winder is also extroverted and is good at lying and masking emotions around many people, but struggles when around Cameon for some reason. He's also fancy and constantly wants everything to go just perfect, also be perfect. He's such a perfectionist to the point he literally starves Cameon. Winder also calls Cameon Cammy, which, yeah, it's a cute nickname, but with Winder. Now that just sounds predatory as quack. Winder in no doubt is a horrible person, but does have an origin story, which I won't bring up since it hasn't been brought up in the book yet. Ha ha ha, quack you. Anyways, Winder is certainly an interesting person despite being so horrible, though he lacks hobbies, with his only one being like parting, so I'll try to improve on that. But maybe you can call his cringy attempts at flirting with Cameon a hobby. I don't have much else to say about Winder, but tell me your thoughts about him. Don't be scared to hate on him. Lastly, we are gonna talk about the love interest, Milo. They go by they out them by the way. So, let's start with talking about the looks. Milo is described as having long fluffy white hair and golden eyes. Their skin is very pale, almost white. Milo is also wearing red eyeshadow and lipstick. They are wearing a short tight red dress with red heels. A lot of red going on. Then Milo is wearing a fluffy fur coat around their neck. I have no idea if that's the correct name. Random, but their main inspiration was the Persian cat. There's not much else to talk about her outfit. Let's move on to her as a person. Milo is a caring and very funny person, but also has a sassy attitude. I absolutely love them, to be honest. They are very fitting to be Cameon's sort of role model since they are much more confident and extroverted. Maybe if they figure out what Cameon is going through, they could help him out a lot. For people wondering about their gender, by the way, Milo is born male, but they are a drag queen. But outside their drag queen agenda, they are non-binary. There's one thing that is a problem. Milo and Winder doesn't have a good relationship. So, if Cameon wants to convince Winder to let him be with Milo, it'd be rough. Sadly, I don't have much else to say about Milo. They have just been in the book once. But yeah, then I can't really tell you stuff that isn't written down yet. So yeah, but tell me what you think about them. Don't be afraid to be jealous of what Cameon will be getting. Well, that's it, my stars. Gladly tell me your favorites. The characters' codes will be in the description below, and if you have any questions, I'll probably answer them. I'll also leave the document file for the book down below if you want to read it, and gladly make your own adaptation of the characters. Warning, it's been probably half a year since I last worked on it, so it's kinda bad. But I will try to finish it. But now it's time to say my farewell. And I should probably make my main in Gacha life too. But hope you had a good day, my stars. If you didn't, hope Milo made yours.